So, at one point, I was trying to sell my horror films. I was low on money. They've just been kind of laying around for a while now, and I'm just getting to put them away. Figured it would be a fun video to just make a video of the movies I still have. Maybe talk about the ones I like, the stuff I remember about them. So, I'll just get right to it, I guess. So, down. First one up here I have is Don't Go in the House. To be honest, I remember this movie. I was really excited to watch it. It's not that great, to be honest. It's okay. People do like it. It's not a horrible movie, but I mean, most of the movie is just follows about a guy who is basically just bringing people into his house and burning them alive. If I remember correctly, it's been a really long time since I watched the video. But yeah, it's not something that I suggest unless you're really into horror films, and maybe. I think I got it for like $7 on sale, so it's okay. This I don't remember much about this movie. I know I got it for really cheap at a Giant Tiger, which is basically like I don't know what you would call it. It's like a can't think of the name of it. Kind of like a Kmart, I guess, is really equivalent, or it's kind of like or a Walmart but cheaper, or around as cheap depending on what you're buying. Main thing that it has going for it is a Tiny Tim in it. I don't remember much about the movie. I remember liking it. Yeah, it's really about all I can really say about that movie. Okay, this I bought again for really cheap at some sort of rental store that was closing. I haven't actually watched it yet, so I couldn't really tell you anything about it. Okay, so this is kind of special. It's basically 5 movies. It also came with a VHS, which I guess got lost when I was moving. It's a bunch of, well, quote unquote, lost movies at the time, anyways. The main thing it would be on here that would be interesting to most people are Video Violence and Video Violence 2. Of course, those are, most people who are into horror films, very into horror films, do know those. The Basement, if I remember correctly, is kind of like an anthology thing, sort of like Tales from the Crypt. It was pretty alright. The other movies I don't have much to say for. They were very, very low budget, like every other movie on this uh, DVD like package. But they're not bad. I enjoyed them a bit. I don't know if you really consider this a horror film. It's kind of dirty. It's been sitting around in a box for a while. It's Surf Nazis Must Die. It's a trauma film. What can I say? Trauma films are almost always either amazing or horrible. One of the two. Surf Nazis Must Die is one I actually kind of like. Uh, mm. Oh, well, this was basically, I just bought it off a DVD rental place. It's just the that sequel to The Ring, and it's horrible. I stopped watching it halfway through. It's really not good. Not that The Ring was an amazing movie, but it originally, but don't bother watching Rings. I haven't watched it yet, even though I own it. I've seen some of the other Jack Ketchum adaptations, and they're really, really great. So eventually, I'm gonna get to this. Mainly, The Girl Next Door was the one I remember being really good. So it's classic. All the Alien, well, the first three Alien movies. Uh, yeah, they're all worth watching. Not much to say about them because everybody already knows about those. I'm a big fan of kaiju movies. Can't I haven't I think I watched Varan a long time ago. I didn't watch any of these other ones, unfortunately. But I will eventually get to them. I have way too many movies that I've never seen before. Okay, well, Battle Royale. This is probably one of my favorite movies. Basically, a bunch of kids in a school get put on an island to basically kill each other live on TV. And it's got all sorts of socio-economic reasons as to why they're doing it, and but this is definitely one of the movies you really really should watch. It's really great. So I have Zombie 3, the sequel to Zombie 2, which was a fake sequel to Dawn of the Dead. Zombie 2 is 100% worth watching, buying, whatever. I unfortunately do not own it, but it's something that you should really watch. Zombie 3 is probably the last good movie in this series because Zombie 4 and Zombie 5, I don't even know if they're actually really related. Remember I think Zombie 4 is the one with the killing birds and barely has any zombies. Either way, both sequels after 3 are not very good. I believe I own both of them somewhere as well. Twilight Zone the movie, needs no introduction, not much to say as most people should have seen it already. More kaiju movies I never actually opened. Haven't seen this yet, but I believe I watched I think it's Cinema Snob, either that or there was another YouTuber that I believe they covered this. Either that or it may have been a Mystery Theater 3000, I really don't remember, but I plan on watching this in the future. So apart from the newest one that just came out, all the Critters movies. Again, Critters is something that most people already know of. Basically, kind of like Gremlins, but in terms of premise, but basically little fuzzy ball aliens come down and they basically destroy everything. They just eat shit, and and it's pretty. And there's aliens that are hunting them. It's interesting. The first movie is really great. The rest sort of turned more into comedy, which I definitely don't mind, but that's something that other people really might not like. I actually don't remember much about this movie except for the fact that I really hated it. It was not very good from what I remember. And to be honest, looking at this box, I mean, I should have seen that coming. I didn't open this because I saw this in theaters and I liked it enough that I went to go buy it. I'm a big fan of Guillermo del Toro. I don't even know if I pronounced that right. But I'm a big fan of his movies. I've seen most of them that have come out. And this was really good. It's worth watching. It's a little girl who moves to like basically this mansion, if I remember correctly, with her father and I believe her like stepmother. I don't remember if they're living there or if they're just there sometimes. And it turns out there's these sort of creatures living there, and it sort of evolves from there. That's not worth talking about. Okay, so I still haven't opened this because I've seen this movie probably like 8 or 9 times back when I used to play on the Scream channel. This is probably my favorite adaptation of the Richard Matheson story, like I Am Legend. It's better, personally speaking. I find it much better than the Will Smith version. The book, of course, is the best option, but if you're gonna watch an adaptation, it should be this. It's great. Not really a horror film, but for some reason I have 2 copies of this, and I really don't know why. Yeah, that's more just wanted to say that. Speaking of Gremlins, I have Gremlins. This should need no introduction. Mother's Day, which is another Troma classic. Basically, like a rape revenge story, sort of. Although I don't remember there being that much rape in this movie. But it's basically a bunch of girls go to a basically middle of nowhere, and there's a couple of hicks and their mother, and they basically capture them, torture them, etc. Yeah, it by that description doesn't sound like much, but it's pretty good and pretty decent Troma film. Only still in his packaging because I've already seen it, but basically my name is Bruce. It's basically a movie about Bruce Campbell, and he's put into some sort of weird situation with a like horror film situation, except he's actually playing himself. I haven't seen this. I plan on it, but this is made by a guy who made a different French movie from Quebec, which I really liked. I don't remember. Let me see if it's no, it's not written here. Oh yeah, there it is. 5150 Rue des Ormes. And I don't know anything about this movie, but if you're gonna check out anything by this guy, 5150 Rue des Ormes is it's just so good. Just definitely watch it. Exorcist 3, people seem to really like it. I tried to give it a watch. I prefer the original. It's not bad though. The Blob, I mean, it's classic. It's about a blob that eats people. This is a remake, not the original from, I think, the 50s or 60s. This is Birdemic. Everyone should know what Birdemic is. It's horrible in such a good way, and there's CGI seagulls that barely move and they attack people. And go watch it, even though it's not an amazing movie per se. It's just one of those so bad, so good movies, kind of like Troll 2. That's not what we're talking about. 976 Evil, about this dude who basically dials a number to the devil and it gives him weird powers. Yeah, this one's actually one of my favorites, oddly enough. It's pretty fun, and it's kind of campy, but it's pretty good. This is by no means a good movie. This is, if I remember correctly, looking into this, it's like made by a bunch of, it's like a Christian horror film, and it's very hard to remember exactly what happens, but it's like about, it involves a curse, and there's somebody there's like a slasher element, there's people dying. It's not a very good movie. You have nothing better to watch. I mean, I remember watching it once or twice back when I was still living with my parents. I don't remember. I remember watching this movie. I don't remember a lot about it. I know it was a decent horror film. A decent. It's like a comedy zombie comedy. That's now I'm reading the back here, but I do kind of remember. But apart from that, I don't remember much about it. I just remember thinking it was okay. Okay, so this is a lot of people hate this movie. I thought it was okay. I'm a big fan of Dario Argento movies. This is his third movie in the trilogy of like the Witch trilogy, and people hated this. I thought it was all right. The first, obviously, Suspiria and Inferno are better, but it's not a horrible movie. It's just it's not the same as the other two. But it's worth watching, and but I would suggest if you haven't seen them yet, go watch Suspiria and Inferno or anything else Dario Argento, like Tenebrae, Deep Red. There would be Phenomena, which is the ending for that is so good. But anything Dario Argento, I find apart from later Dario Argento, is great. Okay, so this is Rubber. This is about a movie about a tire that, well, kills people. It comes to life. There's not much to say. It's either you love it or you hate it movie. I'm a big fan of weird situations and scenarios. So for me, I definitely I got into that real fast. Quick Chance, not really a horror film, but Cold in July stars the guy from Dexter. And not a horror film at all, more of a revenge, suspense, action-y kind of movie. It's worth watching. It's really fun. I think I got it for like $3 at a convenience store because my convenience store sells movies for some reason. There it is. The second copy of Red State for some reason. People love this movie. I don't know why. I didn't like it. I didn't even finish it. Um, me and my girlfriend tried to watch this, and we found it really, really boring and long. Maybe I should give it a second go, see if I like it better now. But this was maybe like 6 or 7 years ago, and we really didn't like it. More Toho movies, or in this case, it would be I don't remember Gamera's Toho actually, but it's basically another sort of kaiju Godzilla style movie. Gamera was basically the big, I don't know, you would say competition to Godzilla back in the day because it got multiple sequels. Um, Gamera is basically a giant turtle monster thing that spins in the air and shoots fire out of itself. It's interesting if you like kaiju movies. Another kind of low budget Bruce Campbell movie. Not the best one. I would prefer watching My Name is Bruce over this or Bubba Hotep. Obviously, Evil Dead. Out of all the horror Bruce Campbell movies I've seen, this one is probably my least favorite. Absolutely not a horror film, although it's more of a, I don't know, an action film. Kind of, it's like basically a gang breaks into his apartment, his tenement, and they attack the people there. It's not a great movie, but it's not bad. It's worth watching. I bought this. I didn't know what it was, but it's basically, I mean, to be honest, almost softcore pornography. It's not very good. I wouldn't suggest watching the Nihonbi trilogy. This is a decent movie. It came out, I don't remember, early 2000s, maybe late 2000s, actually, like 2009 ish, 2010. I really don't remember. If I look here somewhere, it must be written. I'm a little blind. 2011. So, I mean, it's basically people go to the moon and there's these weird creatures. It's standard, horror sci fi, but I liked it. I'm kind of a sucker for that kind of stuff. The remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which to be honest, I don't know why I bought this. I don't mind remakes. Remakes are fine. I might make an actual video about remakes specifically that I liked or something. I haven't seen it yet. Maybe I will eventually. Not horror at all. And then I just had a few that were already put away that I wasn't planning on selling at the time whatsoever. Okay, 1 second. Great. This is a movie from France. It's kind of unnerving. It's about, let's just say it involves an old people's home, cannibals, and it's great. You have to watch it. I don't want to say too much because it kind of ruins everything, but it's a really fun movie. Last thing I was going to show you is apart from, we're missing one of the movies, is I have all 4 Phantasm movies, which Phantasm is a series that I absolutely love. It's hard to describe, but basically there's a tall man, he lives in a cemetery, his name is the Tall Man, he's the titular villain of the series, and he turns corpses into little strange dwarf people who basically are forced into slave labor, kind of on a weird ultra dimension, and it's interesting. It's made by Don Coscarelli, if I remember correctly, And yeah, it's I really like his stuff, and it. But Phantasm is fun. Anyways, I'm gonna end that here because I do have stuff that I have to do apart from this. I'll probably make more videos. I don't know. I'm just trying to test this out. Next video, you'll likely see my face because I'm not showing off any more stuff so that I can remember. So yeah, have a great day and thanks for checking out my video. Bye.